Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we are on my buddy Shansky's account, and what I'm going to show to you is basically one of the reasons why I'm looking forward, or like I'm really wanting to get a Kymar and a Poison Exploder champion, such as obviously Theodore would be one of the best, but he's like on another level. But I would really love to get a Xavier or an Eleanor. The reason for that is the fact that you can do so many fun things with Poison Explosion comps, you know, not just keep using the Seer comps, which I'm already using. They work just fine, but you know, I wanted to try something different. And let me just make myself a little bit smaller because I need to show stuff this time around with presets and stuff. So basically the team that I will be using doesn't look like, you know, it's nothing too crazy at the end of the day. Like, this Xavier could be an Eleanor, but obviously the reason why I really like Kymar and Kymar so much better is because of these cooldowns. So basically the whole idea behind this team, as you can see, I'm using two level 50 Tauruses, but you know, let's just go for a run so you can see how this team actually works while I'm talking. So the whole idea is using the Tauruses for the sake of the poison, then using Dark Kael, as you see he extends, and Xavier straight up one shot explodes. Kymar on the second wave, he resets, same thing, extend, and then same thing, one shots. Everything was made so it works in a certain order, and that's something that I'm gonna show you know about the speeds, about the masteries. Like, you know, everything needs to fall in the right place, because when it comes to the Poison Exploder comps, you have to make sure that either A, you have enough poisons placed on the waves to explode them, or B, you extend them and they have enough duration. Because basically what the Poison Exploder comps do, or like Poison Explosion champions such as Xavier, Eleanor and Theodore, they basically activate or like explode the number of poisons they have. So for example, if you have them all on one turn, they're not going to do as much damage as they would do if they're on a 2 or a 3 turn. And now look at this, I just got him his personal best, 59 seconds. So the more turns that you have them, the more damage he's gonna do, because basically that's what it actually says. So the skill says, you know, attacks all enemies killed by this one cannot be revived. This is under par, this is Xavier's block revive par, but it's this one. Deals damage from all poison debuffs on the target instantly. So all damage, it's like if you have 3 ticks of poisons, it does all 3 of them. If you only have 1, it does only 1. So obviously you want those ticks to be as high or as many as possible. Poison debuffs will only deal half of the standard damage when the skill hits bosses. So you know, on bosses it does a little bit lower, but you mostly care about this one for the sake of the waves, because on stages 21 to 25 at least, this one does not work the same, because on bosses the damage is capped at 10%. You know, it's 10% because it straight up explodes into one skill. You know, the only one that's a little bit different is what's it called? It's Theodore, because he basically makes it take. So he makes those one take by one turn. He doesn't make them all explode at once. So Theodore would, you know, that's a different story. But for the sake of this team, let me show you how we put the presets, run it again, and then I'm gonna show you the mastery. So basically, in case something fails, I just made her open with the poison explosion, then lock it, so she doesn't use it again. Second wave the same. Third wave, I left her do whatever. Prince Kymar, on the first wave, I made him open with the A1, then she can do whatever. I just do not want him to use the A3 on the first wave in case something goes wrong. On the second wave, he starts with a reset because he's the first one. He has the high speed, so he's always gonna go first. So starts the reset. Then at the boss part, I stop this one because I prefer that he does the A1 for a chance to put those poisons up. Basically, if you want to have a Prince Kymar specifically built for this type of team, you would want him to have a 100% crit rate, so that whenever he crits, he places that poison. Like this, he's in an arena build, as you see. Let me show you the crazy accuracy in there. Obviously he's not gonna be putting those poisons too often, but you know, if you want to specialize it, like I said, give him a 100% crit rate and he's gonna be doing that. Then for the sake of Dark Kael, I want him to open with this one. The A2 basically does AoE decrease attack and extends all the debuffs by one turn. So all the poisons put up by the Tauruses, he extends them by another turn, which makes Xavier easily one-shot them. On the second wave, the same thing, open with this one and then do whatever. Then on the third wave, it's like I make him open with this. Basically, don't really want the decrease attack to go first, or like if this one goes first, maybe the boss does not kill all of the people, it might get dodgy. So having this one used on the first and the second wave makes it a little bit safer, so that Xavier definitely one-shots the waves. And then when you get the boss part, you're trying to keep Kael to be like the only one that survives and solo the boss. That's kind of like the idea of this team. And then the Tauruses do the same thing. It's like both of them open with the A3, if you can see. On the first wave, second wave, same for this one. And then on the boss part, I locked the A3 because I do not want them to use them in case they get the third, because they put unkillable and they don't die, and that just makes it, that just makes the run slower. That's not what you want. Tauruses, they only have one goal in here, to put poison on the first and the second waves, and then they can die. Instead of Tauruses, you could use people like, obviously the best one in here would be Calvalax. Like, I'm quite sure you've seen some of those end game comps with like double Calvalax, and either with Xavier or Eleanor to explode it. But this is, you know, this is, I guess, let's call it maybe a budget-ish friendly one. The only one that's like, you know, you would prefer to have, doesn't matter if it's Xavier or an Eleanor that does the poison explosion, doesn't really matter, because they kind of do the same job. Maybe Xavier does it a little bit better because she also hits, but Eleanor is better because she does not hit. For example, if you're facing Spirit Affinity, Xavier is not as good, because if she weak hits on the poison explosion, then you will not be activating those poisons, so that's not gonna be working. This looks a little bit scary, but yeah, he's just gonna need to pump up his Dark Kael stats, like pump up his Great Hull to make sure that he does not die. It looks scary, but unless we get 3%ed on the heal reduction or the decreased defense, this should be pretty fine, reliable, and it works pretty awesome. So, like I said, when it comes to the champions that you can change, you know, the one that's really awesome and I really like is Dark Kael. It's fun to see an epic that you get after quite a while still be useful for us. So let's have a look at their builds, and like I said, maybe talk a little bit about what you can do, what you can change. So for Xavier's role, you can use Eleanor. For Kymar's role though, you could use a Yumeko, because she kind of does the right reset. Or you could use a Renegade, but if you use a Renegade, then you need to have your Xavier faster so she gets double turns, because Renegade only resets the cooldown for like the 2 turns cooldown, and this one's on a 4 turn cooldown. So unless Xavier gets the double turn, like you would need her to be over 200 and yes, 10 speed, something like that. You have to check the speed of the waves. Then otherwise, you kind of, you know, if you don't have the other resets, then yeah, try to make her a little bit faster. I haven't really tested it, I just wanted to showcase this team that I built for him. So the way that I built Xavier, because we don't need her to be a lot faster, is straight up damage. I put the 150 speed randomly, and then look at this, crazy damage. 5.8k attack, 258 crit damage, because like I said, apart from exploding those poisons, she also hits. So a little bit of extra damage makes it 100% sure that you actually explode those waves. These are the masteries that we used. Basically went with Flawless Execution for the sake of reliability, and then all the other masteries here on the offense side that make her hit as hard as possible on the first hit on the wave, which is Ruthless Ambush, which is Bring It Down, and Heart of Glory, because it's gonna be full HP. Then on the support, she a little bit, you know, Sniper and Master Hexer for the poisons that she does on her A2 or A1 if she gets the chance to do it. But she's a bit slow, so she might not do all of them. But if you have to make her go twice, if you have Renegade, then that's definitely gonna be a lot helpful. Kymar has Arena Mastery, so this is like an Arena Kymar build, which works just fine. Just like, you know, maybe you don't get the extra poison in there, but still, as you saw, he did his job. These are his stats, you know, crazy high accuracy, because like I said, he's for Arena, he's speed to into Arbiter, and because he's fastest, that's why you open with him with the A1. And makes it easier on the second wave, because he straight up starts with reset and you do all the other skills again. Then Dark Kael. Dark Kael, basically you want him to be in a regen set. You want him to be the one that stays alive and survives and solos the boss part. He has a little bit squishy HP, decent defense, but you want to make him tanky. You care about the 100% crit rate. Unfortunately, you kind of need that for the sake of extending those debuffs. And after that, you want 300 resist, so that he resists the what's it called? So that he resists the Ice Golem debuffs and the adds debuffs. And then you want around 250 accuracy, so he places his own debuffs. Then around, you know, 200 speed and a bit, and then as much survivability as you can get in him. And I didn't really want to go Giant Slayer because you don't want him to actually do damage, especially on the boss part. Just want to hit those survivability stats to make him survive and do his job at the end alone. Then the 2 Tauruses, no masteries, and honestly just random gear. Look, I don't even have finished gear. I just put random gear so that they have the accuracy to land their poisons and that they go before the Dark Kael. That's all you need. You need them to go before Dark Kael and Xayvia. And that's about it. After that, they can just die. You don't really care about doing anything else. Oh yeah, and one thing that you care about is having this one booked. The first 2. If you're running a Kymar, and or if you're running a Kymar or a Yumeko, you just want 2 books into this one. If you're running a Renegade, then it's kind of the same principle as with Xayvia. You need them to go twice on the second wave, so you would have, and you would want it to be fully booked, because if it's on a 5-turn cooldown. Let's see, this one on 5-turn cooldown? Yeah, so if it's on a 5-turn cooldown, Renegade only resets 2, so he would need 2 more turns before he could do the poisons. So keep that in mind in case you don't have the Kymar and you're trying to do it with the Renegade. And yeah, everything else, like I said, don't really care. The beauty of this team is that, guess what? It works on Dragon as well. Let's run it a bit. Let's not do the super. Actually, no, let's do the super 8 because I'm confident in it. I hope I'm not gonna regret it. I'm kidding. Basically, this team works with the same thing because the affinities are right. It should work. The only like really bad thing would be if he does not do the extension. But even like that, because of the way that we have our presets. Actually, I think I changed a bit the presets for this one. And I put it a different team, but because of the way that the presets are used, is even if you don't get those extensions, everybody saves their skills to have the right skills ready for the next wave. But everything should be pretty easy. Even with Dark Kael being wrong affinity in this one, he's still gonna be good. He's still gonna be able to solo the boss at the end after the boss gets that turn because of the regens that it has. See, he even got crit, so he even got crit and still he was able to survive and take that hit. Kymar didn't even die, even though again Kymar's wrong affinity, but still this one still goes. Even if you get one of those stuns in there, it's still fine, but we don't really get it. Look at that. Look at how this one goes. Look at that insanity. This is just beautiful. 57 seconds. He even got a 52 seconds with this team. It's insane, guys. It's insane. This type of team, it's really fun, and there's lots of tweaking and testing that you can do so that, you know, if you build everything with the right stats at the right points, this can run even faster. Like, I've seen some records with something similar that's like 40 seconds or stuff like that. That's just bonkers. So yeah, I guess I wanted to show because, like I said, so this was the Ice Golem Dragon. Yeah, actually I made a preset for both. So this is the Ice Golem and Dragon 25, same presets. But yeah, like I said, this is the type of team, this is the way that you would run on Poison Explosion Cup. It's gonna work for your Ice Golem team, which, you know, that's the tournament that's going on today, and maybe you're trying to find a way to speed farm this. And that's what's gonna work for the Dragon. Like I said, keep in mind when it comes to Xayvia, do not try to use this against Spirit Affinity, because against Spirit Affinity is not gonna be consistent, because if she weak hits, she's not going to explode those poisons, so she's not gonna kill the ad. So keep that in mind. But yeah, this is gonna be for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful. If you do enjoy my content, do not forget to subscribe and like this video. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.